What does Chamberlain offer to this football club? He can't pass, he can't run, he can't shoot. Why is he a footballer? We're paying him. As far as I'm concerned, he should be paying us. But don't let that distract you from the fact that Robert has been stinking up the gaff for a lot longer than we are willing to admit. Not just this season, not just the second half of last season, but also the second half of the 1920 season too. Yeah, I said it. He's been sticking up the gaff for a very long time. Firmino, everyone and their grandmother knew that Firmino was stinking at the gaff. You should have taken him off at half time, if you ask me. Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder could see that this guy was not playing well. I knew by the 40th minute that this guy was not having a good game. And I'm not saying take him off in the 40th minute, but at least take him off in the 41st minute. God damn, Klopp, like you have your trusted lieutenants. That's what I call them, your trusted lieutenants. And it's starting to grind my gears. I've been saying it since 2017. Klopp's game management is not good. I want to see new formations. I want to see better in-game management. I want to see a 3-5-2. I want to see a 4-5-1, a double pivot of Fabinho and Thiago. I need to see new ideas, fresh ideas, because right now we are conceding way too many goals for my liking. And me, I only mess with winners. So if I don't see a Champions League or a Premier League or both, minimum, by the end of this season, we need to have a discussion. That's all I'm going to say. Peace out. Stay black.
Hi, Matt and Colum. My name is Dennis Waswa. I just wanted to give my brief submission on today's result. I'll start off with the positives. The positive is that we've dropped points from a fellow high-quality footballing side. So a point is better than nil. And City, on the same match, they has dropped points. So I think we need to win the next 3 matches just to keep momentum with Chelsea, so that by the time Chelsea plays United on November 28th, we are at par on points. It will exert some bit of pressure on them. On the negative side, it's become a habit dropping points from winning positions. We dropped points at Brentford, and we've dropped points today. That's not a sign of a league-winning team, yeah? And on the contrary, Chelsea is grinding results even from what would be potentially losing points. A case in point is the Brentford win away, plus today they were able to grind results in the second half. The same applies to their win at Spurs. Yet for us in the second half, we tend to collapse, losing leads and whatnot. So the way forward is we need to strengthen our midfield in January, and we need to take the domestic cup seriously. Big up Team Kopish. You never walk alone.
Hey guys, shout out to Kopish, Matt, Callum, Drifty. You guys are doing a great job. So the game 2-2 to Brighton. No one. I saw Firmino missed that chance at the beginning. I was like, I hope we don't end up regretting it. And then look what happened. We ended up drawing the game. At least we didn't lose, but it's something with this team. It seemed like after we won the title, now it's like when we go up maybe 2 goals or so, and we get too complacent. And then when the other team scores 1 goal, then it's like panic station. So after the first 24 minutes, 25 minutes, nobody was like, what happened to the passes? Guess what? Because Keita came off? That can't be an excuse. No, and we just have to start doing better. Like, nobody's playing to their like full potential. Klopp, he has his favorites. He can't be making a sub at 78 minutes. It's like the other people, you have to use your squad. Like, okay, Chamberlain got the assist. I know he wasn't like the best player on the pitch, but at least he got the assist. You have to utilize your squad, especially with AFCON coming up. It's like, hopefully we can bounce back with Atletico and West Ham coming up. I know these guys, we got to step it up, guys. It's going to be a long season, and Chelsea are not letting up. Just got to keep going.
Liverpool 2, Brighton 2. Well, where do we even start with this one? It's good to see you guys. It's been a minute. I wanted to do the 5-0 against Man United, but I didn't have time. So let's talk about the situation right now. We started off well. We got that goal. Brilliant layoff from Mohamed Salah, of course, and a great shot by the captain, Jordan Henderson. We thought this was going to be a good one today. And then, of course, we had Naby Keita injury. I think we need to start talking about him. He's not reliable enough. He's not fit enough to support us in our title run. We've got to talk about what we're going to do with Naby Keita. However, I think Naby Keita is the least of our worries, because when Ox came on, yes, brilliant assist. However, he offered nothing off the ball. He offered nothing really on the ball apart from that assist. Same with Curtis Jones. Jordan Henderson off the ball, he's non-existent. He's no Fabinho, but we already knew that. I just feel like that midfield, I said this before, it's going to be the death of us, because when Thiago ain't there, when Fabinho ain't there, when Naby Keita ain't there, these guys who can control the midfield, who can hold the ball under pressure. When we don't have these guys in this midfield, this is what happens. We struggle. And the moment Keita got injured, we knew what was going to happen. Mwepu with, I don't know if it was a fluke. I don't know if he actually meant that, but I don't care. He's a fellow Zambian, so I got to appreciate that goal. So a great finish, but that was the least of our worries, because once it went to half-time, I knew that there was a change in the air. You could tell from Anfield that we weren't loud enough. We weren't really being... The crowd was just nervous, and I feel like we need to address that midfield, because we can't keep doing this. We did this against AC Milan. We did this against Atletico Madrid. We did this against Brentford. It's not good enough when certain players are out. We have to struggle like this, because we've got a good enough team. We've got a good enough midfield to control the game. However, positional sense is becoming a problem. And this is why we had to replace Gini Wijnaldum in the summer, because he provided positional awareness. He held the ball right. He recycled the ball correctly. That was his job in the thing. And I know he wasn't a flair player like people wanted, but he did the job that Klopp required of him. And this is why he continues to play in, day out. Not only because of that, it's because he was always fit. So we needed to get a Gini Wijnaldum replacement, and we didn't. So that's our bad. That's our mistake. But we already knew this. So I'm going to move on from that. Jurgen Klopp and his in-game management. I think I mentioned this in my other review. He needs to learn how to trust these players on the bench, or else if you're bringing Minamino or Origi off five minutes to go, it's not going to help anyone. It's not going to help anyone. And you can't keep Jota off the pitch for 77th minute. That's when he put on Jota. It made no sense to me. It actually made no sense. It's actually frustrating me, his in-game management. It feels like we've only got one game plan, and when that one game plan doesn't work, we don't change it. We don't have anything else, because if we don't have the players that we need, perfect players that we need in this system, it seems to break apart. And it starts with that midfield. That midfield needs to be balanced. And we need to find a way to play without this high line when these guys are not here, because obviously we cannot control games when we're facing tough opponents with that midfield. Ox wants to dribble, Jones wants to dribble, Henderson wants to bomb forward. There's no balance. There's no balance. And when there's no balance, we need to look at our managers to be like, what are we going to do now? We can't keep playing this high line. We're getting torn open in the counter-attack. So what are we going to do? I just feel like Liverpool, if we want to win this league, we need to find a balance in that midfield, because the defense ain't the problem, in my opinion. It's the midfield balance. We are getting more goals from the midfield. That is a positive. But the negative is they're not doing their jobs off the ball. Who's defending Trent on that right? It's not Henderson anymore. He's not doing that even when he's playing at 8. When he's a 6, he's obviously not a destroyer like Fabinho. I saw a stat that there was like 15 attempts on the tackle that he could have made, and he failed 14 of them. 14 out of 15 attempts to collect the ball back, and he failed. It's ridiculous. It's actually ridiculous. But let's look at the positive. We're unbeaten. Hooray. We haven't lost yet. We're unbeaten in all competitions. 24 games in a row. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Yay. We just need to find that balance in the midfield. And once we find that balance in the midfield, we will start to be more consistent. The only reason we're getting these inconsistent results now is because when we play a half decent team with a half decent midfield and we don't have our first choice midfield, we start to struggle. That's the only reason. That's why it's hit and miss for us. We have a better midfield than Manchester United. That's why we slapped them. We have a better midfield than Watford. That's why we slapped them. But when we've got a Brighton, when we've got a Man City, when you've got Atletico midfield who are well drilled and they know what they're doing in the system and they're technically good in that midfield, we start to struggle. So we need to start finding solutions when these guys like the Nabbies, like the Oxes, like the Thiagos, like the Fabinhos, when they're not fit. Because this high line playing the same way is not going to work anymore. And yeah, I've been here long enough, so big up to Team Kopish, and that's me out.
Big up Team Kopish. It's not the game performance or result that we were looking forward to. This was one of the games where we should have come out with 3 points, but we ended up coming out with 1. We've had a roller coaster of a season so far. In a week span or a week and a half time frame, we go to Atletico Madrid, we scrape a win, we get lucky, that's fine, we take it. We go to Old Trafford, we beat the Manx 5-0. We are all hyped up again because it was a good performance, but you know the Manx were just shit. We come to Anfield, we're playing Brighton, we score 2 goals, we have a good lead, a good cushion, but we ended up drawing to Brighton at Anfield. So it is a crazy season so far. There are lots of positives and negatives. If you look since when the summer transfer window closed, we were very skeptical about the way the league is going to plan out for us. We knew we would be thereabouts for, pushing or challenging for the title. But as the season moved on, we have been gaining confidence here. We have been thinking, we are having certain performances where we have been just, phenomenal. Our front line, our goalkeeper, and at times our midfield. We come out with moments of matches where we are brilliant. But then we have these sort of games. We have games like Brentford, where we take the lead and we end up coming out with a point. Bearing in mind, both Brentford and Brighton, both games we could have ended up with no points, the way the game planned out. Now, things do need to change for us if we want to push for the title. If we want to stay top 4, then we are doing brilliant. This is what you need to do to stay in the top 4 race. But no, we are going for the title, right? So, what do we do? From just my perspective, I feel like our senior players in our midfield and the backline area, we've got players like Hendo, Fabinho, Matip, Van Dijk, Robertson, Trent, Alisson. From these lot of players, at least 3 of them stay on the pitch. They are our senior players. They need to rectify, or they need to get the defense line and the midfield line stable. We have these many players, like they are senior players. They're not like, it's not like Arsenal all of a sudden they are gelling into this new team and, they are, sometimes they have good games and sometimes it's just like they don't know. So yeah, we shouldn't be, behaving as such. There needs to be better communication between our boys at the back. I'm just looking at the second goal as an example. We had a defensive line. We could have caught Brighton on the offside, but what happened is I feel like Robbo broke the line and he went running towards the striker for Brighton. And if he wouldn't have done that, I feel like it would have been an offside. Now, yes, I'm saying that, it's easy for me to say that, but, maybe during the game, it is more sporadic, you can't control such moments. My question is, if Chelsea can't do that, and I'm using Chelsea as the barometer because they are the team to look for this season, isn't it? If they do it so amazingly, why not us? Their team, they don't have a team that have been, having amazing seasons after seasons, right? Their team is still very new if you consider that, time span. This team that we have, it's been what 3 or 4 years running now, almost, So yeah, I just hope things get better. I pray for it, but yeah, I don't know. I'm really not confident. But look, we move, right? That's pretty much what we need to do as fans. I'm definitely gonna hear what the other match reviews are going to be from the Kopish family. Next up, we have Atletico Madrid at home, and then we face West Ham for the league. With Atletico, I feel like we really don't need to push that much. We have to just be a defensive team. Try to go for a draw. If we get an early goal, amazing, keep it, and then be defensively astute. That's it. If you want to really push for a game, go for the game after that, which is against West Ham away. I hope things plan out and we move. Take care, guys.
What's up, guys? Big up Team Kopish, big up Matt, Drifty, and Callum as always. You know what I mean? Just been haven't been on here for a while, but it was great getting that result against Man United 5-0. I mean, we absolutely blew Man United out of the park. Hand done before, but then we move on to press and get a good 2-0 win. But today showed we've still got a bit of defensive issues we have to deal with at the back. I thought the first half was decent. I thought it was really decent. I thought that Mane was getting, back to his real form, and that Henderson strike. Oh my goodness, you know what I mean? That's the thing you want to see from Henderson. That's why Henderson is my captain. That's why Henderson, can definitely do strikes like that. I mean, he scored against a big strike like that against Chelsea a few years ago, I remember. Yeah, but then I think now Naby Keita going off. I thought Naby Keita going off was a big impact on the game, because I think Naby Keita, what works for Naby Keita is like he likes to pass and dribble more going forward. Whether when Ox came on for Naby Keita, Ox was non-existent. He was definitely non-existent when he came on. I genuinely think that changed the game, and we let Brian back into it. Now the first goal was a brilliant strike from Brighton, but the second half came, and I thought that we did not play well at all. It was all in Brighton's hands, and we gave away the second goal. In fact, Brighton probably deserved to win the game 3-2, and it's just one of them performances, man. And we're drawing too many games as well. That could potentially cost us the title here if we don't act up soon. I think we have to fix up at the back definitely, and we have to finish the chance. We have to play. I think if Naby Keita's injury fit, I think Keita needs to start ahead of Ox all the time, because I think Ox is done at Liverpool, but I think the whole team's performance needs to improve on going forward, especially the defence. I think the defence was definitely dodgy today. Anyway, that's my quick post-match reaction to the game. I hope you guys like and subscribe to Team Kopish as always, and I'll see you guys in the next reaction. Thank you.
How's it going, Kopish? What's good? So Liverpool 2, Brighton 2, and I've got to say, it was extremely disappointing. It's going to take a lot to win the Premier League this year, given the fact that FSG obviously don't help us with spending very, very little amounts in summer transfer window and January transfer windows, with the AFCON coming up, with uncertainty over whether we're going to spend in January, with Chelsea and obviously Man City looking ridiculously strong with their squad depth. Obviously City lost, but Chelsea as well. They are incredible in terms of how they're able to win every type of game they're playing. We've got to be winning from 2-0 up against Brighton. And you can say it's all rosy, we haven't lost a game, we're only 3 points off top. But we keep doing this thing of, it's only this, it's only that. These points accumulate. And when you're 2-0 up to Brighton at Anfield at home, come on, man. Like, I'm not going to take any consolation in drawing that game. And I was about to say losing that game because it feels like a loss. Yeah, Brighton did play well. Yeah, they're a good footballing side. But, you know, we have aspirations to win the Premier League. We have to be winning these types of games at home. We have to be having a rhythm. Like, obviously, the standard of the Premier League is insane now. Like, you can't win the league with like 80 points or 85 points. It's going to be in the 90s. And like Chelsea are just ridiculous. They're so strong. And also the thing is, like, it's annoying because you're like, okay, shit. Where are Chelsea going to drop their points now? Because we've dropped our points. Where are Chelsea going to drop points? If we were like, oh yeah, but if we were guaranteed that Chelsea were going to drop points, then obviously it wouldn't be as sour drawing to Brighton and stuff like that. In terms of performance, they outplayed us in a large majority of the game. The midfield was clueless, to be honest, for the majority of it. Henderson kept having to cover up, you know, defensive spaces of Curtis Jones and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. It was really not a good watch, I can't lie. I mean, look, we know Chamberlain and Jones are quality players, but let's be honest, you know, the midfield didn't work. It doesn't work, that kind of midfield. And when Naby went off, I think we lost control of the game, to be honest. What Naby is very good at, he's good at positioning himself in the half spaces, in between the midfield and the defence, because he's very nimble, he's very dexterous, he's very agile. He can, like, take the ball on the half turn, play a small threaded pass to Firmino or Salah and this type of stuff. Chamberlain is he has a distinct style where he just drops deep and strides forward and tries to play a ball forward. You know, it just didn't work in this game. And he is quality, but it's just so difficult for him to get into any rhythm. And you know, it's sad to see, but we need to think about winning the league, and we need to think about playing the best team all the time. And I still feel Chamberlain has so much to offer, but it's just, you know, where's he going to get the game time? If he's not like performing at high standard when he's given the opportunity, then it's a difficult one. That's the reality. I'm looking forward to Thiago and Fabinho coming back, giving a bit of control in the midfield. I really hope Naby's injury is not bad, because I really think he's been playing well. He really has been dictating the play, linking up with Salah incredibly well. Their link-up's really good. Defensively, for their second goal was awful. I genuinely could not believe what I was seeing. And it's just disappointing because we have been so good this season so far, and Salah's been on a madness, and Henderson's been on a madness, and we're scoring goals galore, but it's just, we don't want to get such a gap with Chelsea. We don't want that. And also, like, City dropped points. How many times last season did we say in December or like January time, oh, it's all right, we're still 1 point clear at the top, or we're still only 2 points off top, this type of stuff. Like, this can ripple into a bad strain of results. Who knows? So, like, I don't take consolation in, like, the fact that we're only 3 points off top, we haven't lost. At the end of the day, look at each game, look at the context of each game, and think about that. I don't like it when people be like, oh yeah, it's all right, you know, it's still a long season to go. Yeah, of course, anything can happen and stuff like this. But the reality is, I'd much rather be in a situation where we won that game, and we could have won that game, and should have won that game. And yeah, I'm going to be annoyed. And if you're not annoyed that we drew to Brighton at home, even though Brighton are a good team, and yes, we have to give credit, then I don't understand what's going on. But anyway, so we've got West Ham away and Arsenal at home. I don't want people thinking Arsenal at home is an easy game, because they are a good team. They have a great squad, even though their fans don't probably think so, and they're playing pretty good football. So I think that's going to be a tough game. Yeah, we normally completely outplay Arsenal, but who knows what's going to happen. West Ham away is going to be a tough game. This is the thing, West Ham away, Arsenal at home, Brighton at home, you've got to be winning. It's just really annoying, it's frustrating, and I hope, you know, these draws are going to accumulate, and they have accumulated. So we'll see. It's just a difficult one, because it feels like we don't have a squad to kind of refer to, or a squad to utilise when we're in trouble. And I feel like sometimes during the mid-game, we need to adapt our strategy and our tactics, our formation, our positioning of players, and try to conjure up something different when the games aren't going our way and things like that. And I was wondering, I said before this game, I was wondering how we would fare if this is a bit of a scrappy contest with 70 minutes to go, if we're drawing and still, are we going to find the magic moment? Are we going to find that kind of moment of brilliance? And we didn't do that. We haven't done that this season, or for a while. Obviously, this season's been very good, but we actually haven't seen a result out when we're like one goal up, or like when we're one goal up, or when we're drawing or stuff like this. This is what 18-19 and 19-20 Liverpool were incredible at. We were so good at winning 1-0, 2-1s, finding a late goal, finding a moment of brilliance out of nowhere. It's a really, really important part of winning a Premier League, to be able to win scrappy games. But Anyway, so the Atletico Madrid game coming up, I really don't really care about this game. I want us to rotate because the Premier League is much more important and we're in a good position in the Champions League. Obviously, I want us to win, but I care about the squad, I care about injuries, I care about the Premier League. So yeah, up the Reds. Let's hope we can get into a rhythm and bounce back with our next 2 Premier League matches. You'll never walk alone. Come on, the Reds!